Well, hey there guys, and welcome back. As promised, on this week's show, it's part 2 of our show updates. If you've been around for a while, you know what's happening. If you tuned into last Tuesday's Alternative Tuesdays, you know what's happening. Guys, if you're new to the show today, for starters, where have you been? Second of all, every 6 months we do a rough update. I go through old shows and I let you know what has changed, what hasn't changed, etc. with certain episodes. Sometimes you watch those YouTube videos and you wonder, does that jig still work? Does that guy still like that tool? Did that project that he made have longevity? Did it last? And you don't ever seem to get an answer for those questions. And that's what today's show is about. I go through old shows, bring you updates, and hopefully answer those questions before you wonder them. So without further ado, guys, let's get into the updates. Well, the first update of the show has to do with my DeWalt 735 planer. Guys, it's hard to believe, but it has been a full year since I tore this thing apart and installed the Hellical cutter heads that I got from Busy Bee Tools. And while those Hellical cutter heads were Hellical expensive, how do I feel about them after a year? Guys, in my shop, I use all rough cut lumber. I do not purchase any pre-milled stuff. I buy 8/4 rough sawn lumber and I mill it myself using my jointer, my resaw on the bandsaw, and then the final thicknessing here on the DeWalt 735. And guys, I have to tell you, those Hellical cutters have been absolutely amazing. Number one, not only is my planer a lot quieter, but a much cleaner result, guys. No more of this stuff where you hit a hard spot and that blade chips in the old flat straight blades and suddenly you get a line down your planing. If you chip one blade, well, you know what? There's another one right behind it to pick up that slack kind of thing so it doesn't leave those ridges in your stock while you're thickness planing. Guys, you can replace individual teeth, and while I have not had to replace a blade, nor have I rotated them, because you can rotate the blades 4 times before you ever have to replace them, I haven't got into any of that because I haven't had to. This thing is still performing A1. It has been one of the best modifications that I have done. I would say the only exception there would be my crank raising and lifting platform on my drill press table. But other than that, this planer with the Hellical heads has been absolutely awesome. I had a little bit of buyer's remorse when I first purchased those Hellical heads because they're so expensive. But honestly, guys, it's been Hellical modification, and I really enjoyed it. And now looking back on it over a year ago, I have no regrets. It was a fantastic modification, and I recommend it to anybody. Well, back in August of this year, I think it was August 5th, of this year, I brought you guys another toy video and included a free pattern on my website of the toy tractor. And guys, this one was a lot of fun to make. I had a blast making it with the wheels on the table saw and that sort of thing. It really was a fun toy. The different woods with the walnut and the cherry, it really brought it out. I really love this toy. However, what happened to that toy since I made it? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened to it. I didn't give it to my granddaughter. I didn't leave it here in the house to collect dust. I didn't leave it here in the shop. What I did was I entered it in the local fair. You guys know that I, enter my woodworking in the local fair, and I usually fare pretty well. However, this was a different entry. This was not an entry where I put it in hoping to get a ribbon or anything like that. This was a donation entry. In other words, it was a donation of a handmade toy to give to needy children. And of course, it still got judged just like the other fair entries. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place, whatever. And the tractor came in 3rd. That's okay. The ribbon's not important here. The important part is that that toy got donated to a child in need. So at Christmas time, when it came around, when all the children who are not so underprivileged, we'll say, while they were getting presents from Santa and from mom and dad and whoever, there are children out there that get nothing. And entering this tractor into the fair for this charity event, and it's an event every year, and I'm hoping to enter it from now on every year because I think it's fantastic. Either way, you don't get that toy back. That child gets that toy. So that toy is now gone. I can easily make another one because I can go on my website and get my own pattern back. But I think honestly, guys, charity starts here. It starts right here in the shop. And all you guys making those toys out there, you're not making them for yourselves. You're making them for somebody else. Whether it be a relative, a friend, a child of a friend, or in this case for a donation, regardless of the fair entry. By doing that, the third ribbon is actually false, because knowing that a child who doesn't get as many things as some children is now playing with that toy and enjoying it, guys, that tractor got best in show. January of 2022, a year and a half ago essentially, I brought you guys this, and that was my house numbers. With the LED, or with the resin pours and the LED lights and the photocell, etc., etc. And guys, I loved this project. I really did. And I am so disappointed with having to report what I have to report. And I have painted projects with trim-clad rust paint, which is what I used on this, coated it really well. The water just runs off it. I've never had a problem. I've never had an issue. My lighthouse that I made has been out there now for a few years. It gets rained on constantly, and that thing is still going strong and still looks fantastic. But these house numbers, they just didn't survive. They're still up there. They're looking worse for wear. They're not too happy about being there, but they're still there. But guys, these are something it looks like I am going to have to remove these, take them down from the front of the house, and figure out some other method, because I really love those illuminated numbers. They're big, they're bold. People delivering things in the evening can see exactly what house they're delivering to. Friends coming by at night for a get-together can see exactly where the number is for the house. Honestly, it was a great project. Don't discount it. We just need to revamp it somehow. I'm not sure if we need to get a more weatherproof material. Maybe do some 3D printing, guys, and do some of these. I'm not sure. But I just want to let you know, these things didn't fare too well, unfortunately. I'm very upset about that. I really love this project. It really is a great one. So I'm going to be revisiting that here on the show. We're going to redo it. We're going to revamp it, and we're going to make it work. And it's going to last more than a year and a half, I guarantee you. So I've received quite a few emails and quite a few inquiries about the viewer mail segment that used to be here on the show. I've been asked, what happened to it? Why do we not have any more viewer mail? Guys, there's a very good reason for that. What used to happen was you guys would send me emails and pictures of your work, and I love it. I love getting your emails, so please don't stop doing that. I want to see your work. I want to see your projects. I want to see what you're working on. Even if you're refurbishing your house trailer, I want to see it. But what's happened was I would bring those here to the show and have a segment where I would feature people's work and show pictures here on the show. But then, of course, the website was born. And instead of bringing it here to the show, the website got its own designated page for viewer submissions. So I've said it once before here on an update show. What I would do, or what I do, is every month all of the submissions that are sent to me. I put them in a hat sort of thing, and I draw out 5 names. And those 5 names, their pictures get posted on the website with a small little write-up by me talking about their project and what they did, etc., etc. So because it's there on the website, I thought it was a little redundant to have the viewer mail here as well. If you guys think something different about that, let me know. If you want to see the viewer mail segment come back and as well have it on the website, I am absolutely cool with that. Whatever you want, that's fine, because this show is just as much yours as what it is mine. I'm the guy that does the work, but I get a lot of feedback from you guys, which helps me out. So it's kind of like a machine that keeps rolling. And if what you guys want to see is the viewer mail segment come back, then let's do it. Just let me know down below. If I get enough guys saying, yeah, I'd love to see it, then by all means, we'll bring it back to the show and showcase your work instead of mine. I'll step out of the limelight and drag you into it. But if you're wondering about all the pictures, whether yours have ever been seen or whatever, if you didn't get my response, I apologize. I tried to respond to all of them. But go to the website at www.acutabovewoodworkings.com and check out the viewer submissions page. It's updated once a month. Sometimes I lose track and I have to do it every 2 months, but check it out. Viewer submissions are there, and that has taken the place, essentially, of the viewer mail segment. Well, it was back in March of 2021, so over 2 years ago, that I brought you guys these. And this was my helping hands, or my version of the helping hands. And guys, this has been rock solid ever since. Now, it's made of a lot of different species of scrap. It's got walnut, it's got cherry, it's got oak. It's a mishmash of everything. And, you know, spring activated here in the handle. And guys, this thing has been great. Right from the get-go, this was an excellent project, and this hangs over with my clamps. I'm always dropping stuff in behind my bench, in behind my tools. In a smaller shop, it can pose a bit of a problem, and I can honestly say that since I've made this, this thing has not worn, it has not loosened, the tension on it for grabbing things has not lessened any, and the reason for that is because that tension mechanism is actually a piece of steel coat hanger in here, so it doesn't stretch. There is no give in it. The spring still returns it back to its position the way that it was designed to do. All in all, guys, this project was back then 2 years ago, or over 2 years ago, and still is today one of the handiest little things out here in the shop. It may be a little large, it may be a little bulky, but it hangs up with the clamps out of the way, so it doesn't really get in the way, but it's still easily accessible for me to grab it and, you know, use it to get the things that I need to get. So, all in all, guys, this project was a worthwhile one. It's been over 2 years. If I had it all back, I'd make it again. And if you haven't made it, I'm going to post the link to the show where I made this one, and you can make your own set of helping hands. Now, guys, normally the updates show are 5 updates, but I wanted to add a quick one here at the end because the opportunity presented itself. Basically, I have received emails and questions asking if Toddlers in the Shop is going to become a regular segment. And I don't know. But what I do know is that ever since that show was filmed, somebody has been asking me to come back out here and make a project and film a show. So, is she going to be on the show again? Or is Toddlers in the Shop going to be a regular segment? Let's go to the source. So, the people out there want to know, did you have fun with your project?
Yeah.
And have you been asking me to come back out here?
Yeah.
And are you going to come back out here?
Yeah.
Are we going to do another show?
Yeah.
Yeah? Is it going to be Toddlers in the Shop Part 2?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're not sure?
Yeah.
So you tell everybody out there, you say, keep watching for Toddlers in the Shop Part 2.
keep watching for some Toddlers in the Shop number 2.
Number 2. You got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Atta girl.
I love you.
I love you too. And there you have it. Updates part 2. Guys, these updates, for me anyway, are a lot of fun. For several reasons. Number 1, I get to walk down memory lane and remember about making projects, and I'm always amazed at how long ago they were. Projects that seem like I just did them yesterday were years ago. I can't believe that it was a year ago that I installed those helical cutters in my planer. But the numbers don't lie. The show is probably about 5 months ahead at that point in time, so it was probably closer to a year and a half. If I checked my receipts, I would know for sure. But either way, it's hard to believe that another year has gone by since I've had that done. Guys, honestly, whether you like these updates or whether you don't, I feel that they're an important part of this whole community as far as this channel goes. My channel is not just some woodworking show or some guy on Tuesdays that does whatever he wants. I honestly believe that this is like a community. I have so many regular viewers, so many regular commenters. I feel like I know a lot of you personally, even though we've never met. And we have conversations down in the comments section. I do my best to answer every one of your comments, and that's important to me as well. But what is important as a community is to give feedback. I can't just throw information out there and leave it like that when I know that there has been changes, or when I know that I can update you and say, hey, this is fantastic. So as a YouTube personality, will call me, I feel I have that responsibility. I think every guy on YouTube that puts out any kind of tutorial video or review video, they should have a responsibility and a moral obligation to step up to the plate and say, hey, it's been a year and a half, this is what I think of this project. Unfortunately, though, not a lot of channels do it. There are some, but not a lot. Either way, guys, I hope you appreciate the updates, and I hope you're going to tune in, for the next update show. If you haven't already, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. You click the bell and then you're not going to miss, well, you know what, future updates. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in this week. If there's something that you want to know about, if there's a question that you want to hear, if there's an update that you want, shoot me a message, drop a comment below, send me an email, and I'll see what I can do about getting it on the next update show. Guys, I want to thank you again for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the content, and more importantly, I hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.